On this opportunity to accumulate health, we're discussing measures to overcome chronic constipation because I know nobody wants to be backed up. So hit that subscribe button, click the little bell there to be notified when there's a new video coming out or when it's going to drop. Because as always, I'll be hanging out in the comments section for about 30 minutes after the video. I mean, be honest, I try to get to comments whenever anybody comments throughout the eternity of these videos when they're up. But especially during that 30-minute window, we can have a little bit of discussion. And so hit that bell so you're notified when these videos drop. So when it comes to chronic constipation, supporting bile acid production, metabolism, hydrochloric acid production in our stomach, supporting the migrating motor complex, the MMC, supporting the overall peristaltic muscle movements of the gut, and I would say just our psychology, our vagus nerve, how we think about life. These are all necessary components if we're going to get bowels that are moving on a consistent basis. And so I put together some high value questions that we can ask ourselves, and then some things we can do about those questions to answer to ensure we're setting ourselves up for what I would call bowel habit success. So the first question would be, how am I responding to stress? Like, how am I taking in stress, taking in life? Am I consistently in a state of tension, worry, fear? Am I racing around every day? Am I behind? Am I waking up behind, just trying to catch up with the day? These are big time questions because these are affecting whether or not your bowels are moving or everything just stuck and holding on. Do I feel like the world is out there and I'm just like barely hanging on by a thread? Do I have time between when I wake up in the morning and when I, have to just turn things on full tilt in my day? If you don't have time in the morning to have a bowel movement, you're not gonna have a bowel movement. Do I have a consistent eating schedule? Or am I just like eating randomly all over the place? Sure, some people can eat randomly all over the place and have bowel movements every morning at 7 a.m. But if you're chronically constipated, we got to get this routine going. So, do I have a consistent sleep schedule? Do I practice nasal breathing, or is my mouth open all the time when I'm breathing, walking around, sleeping, doing work, and I'm promoting this chronic fight or flight response to my body? Nasal breathing, promote it. Do I have a consistent workout routine? If we're not working out, if we're not moving our being, our bowels are not going to move. Do I consistently get over 35 grams of fiber in my daily food routine? So I'm going to sit on this one for a while because recognize this is not supplemental fiber I'm talking about. We're talking about your real food input containing sufficient amounts of fiber. And along these lines, it's extremely important that we get enough hydration, enough water to ensure that the fiber that we're consuming can do the job it wants to do, because fiber utilizes fluid to support the movement of stool through our being. So without sufficient water or fluid coming in with the fiber, this is especially important if you actually are supplementing with fiber, then you actually could find yourself dehydrated and even more constipated, just more blocked up without the necessary fluid to support the activity that the fiber is trying to promote in your being, because fiber is going to suck up the water. Of course, there's always the caveat here that fiber is not found in processed food. It's not. Once again, I'm back to that same old. I know you've heard it 1,000 times from me, but fruits, vegetables, sprouted grains, seeds, beans, lentils, these are our fiber hitting markers. So when I say grains, I'm not talking about whole wheat bread or gluten-free rice bread. You need the actual whole grain. Whether that's wild rice, black rice, that's your sprouted barley, your rye, your sprouted wheat, sprouted oats. The flour, it literally is just gonna, turn your bowels into cement. It's gonna clog everything up, clog all your drainage pathways. We need the whole grain. We need all that true fibrous material present. So you may be saying, hey, Matt, I tried pushing fiber in my body, pushing that content up, but all I got was more gas, more bloating, no increase in bowel habits, or maybe worse. And I've seen this happen many times myself with patients. You know, for many, I would suggest the autonomic nervous system, the enteric nervous system of the gut, it's just so off kilter, or the constipation has been around so long, the bacteria have been so deranged that ramping up a bunch of fiber does indeed make things worse. And in such cases, I often find it best to remove vegetables. Yes, especially the raw vegetables. I'm talking your kales, your broccolis, your cauliflowers, especially those Brassicaceae family vegetables, because all that hardiness of those cell walls, the cellulose in these foods, it's often too much for the bowels to handle. And it literally does make things worse. So often substituting fruits, whole pieces of fruit, in place of these vegetables can be really, really helpful. And recognize, we are all different. We all experience the same situation differently. Some people under life tension, they have diarrhea. Others become constipated. Others alternate between diarrhea and constipation. Others don't notice any bowel change whatsoever, and there's like literally a war going on outside of their home. So that heightened life pressure, you can't compare how your body's manifesting compared to the next person, because you receive it differently. It's not directly related to how that person's receiving it. So don't give up just because the massaging of your life routine, food routine, thinking patterns, activity patterns, supplemental support isn't the same as somebody else's, and or is the same and it's not working effectively. Keep massaging things until you have consistent bowel activity, because you are unique in and of yourself. It's possible to have normal bowel activity. And remember, your bowels are governed by your autonomic nervous system, by that enteric nervous system, by your vagus nerve. So taking a bunch of laxatives randomly to make them move because you're feeling backed up, it's not going to help a person struggling with chronic constipation out of the health hole that has been created. Sure, if you were you went on a trip, got kind of constipated, backed up, do that, fine. But if you're chronically constipated, this is not going to help. It's just going to stress things out more. And beyond that, the fact that your bowels didn't move today, that in itself, I know it can be stressful, but you just pounding yourself with a bunch of laxatives, it's not going to change, it's not going to help you over the long run. So beyond fiber, water, stress allocation, I would consider the following. This is like maybe supplemental kind of things you could do, herbal things. First, we start upstream. We've got to eat whole foods. Secondly, we've got to breathe through our nose. Thirdly, add in bitters, apple cider vinegar or ginger, or lemons or limes. You can get little bitters tinctures, to help stimulate gastric secretions. Utilize these before you eat food. And then secondly, utilize calming herbs like slippery elm, like chamomile, like lavender, like peppermint to help decrease spasticity of your gut and help that movement be in synchrony. Then you could go to things like magnesium and potassium in supplemental form, that is, to ensure basically there's sufficient nutrients to promote those smooth muscle contractions in your intestines, as well as to pull water into the intestinal lumen. Basically act as an osmotic laxative. That's what they do. They pull this fluid in, and that helps move things downstream. If you're still not getting results after that, then I would, or maybe you're getting a bunch of diarrhea because of it, and you're like, this is not working out well, or your bowel movements just aren't complete, then look at using teas or capsules that contain senna or cascara or aloe or rhubarb or dandelion, really to stimulate the intestinal contractility and to help with bile acid metabolism. You want to aim to use these in the smallest dose as possible, though, because your body can get where it feels like it needs it for these things to happen. And so I usually suggest, it's like every other day, it's weekends, it's twice a week. It's really low doses consistently for a while just to get the routine going. But remember, if you jump out of bed most mornings and you race off into life, just here we go, you're not gonna have regular bowel movements. Your patterns are not gonna be regular. I mean, it's like slim to none. And if you're eating junk food all the time, you're not gonna have regular bowel movements. So we gotta promote this sense of relaxation. It's pivotal for healthy, satisfying bowel activity. And you know, if you have crazy relationships, if you have tension in your relationships, all of that is going to manifest in the gut to some degree. I mean, we got studies on showing bacterial changes, flora changes just by the way we're viewing life, and fears or happiness, joy. All these things can affect our flora, affect our bowel motility. So don't give up, but take all these things. You got to answer these questions that I asked seriously if you want to get your bowels moving properly. And you got to come to the point where you say, you know what? I'm going to put awesome food in my body over and over again. Just that's how it's going to be. That is my foundation. I'm going to put as many amazing, uplifting, hope-filled things before my eyes, in my ears, foundationally. I'm going to make sure I'm getting sufficient fluid in. Get about half my body weight in water, in ounces of water each day. I'm going to look at my relationships, look at how I'm interacting with people, and if some people are really caustic to me, that are really causing tension, worry, fret, angst, making me so washed about every little word I speak, then you might want to let them know, hey, this is what's happening, and we're going to have to take a step back. If it's your husband or wife, then maybe you should go to counseling, because you really can't take too far a step back there. But if you have any thoughts, comments about chronic constipation, please put them in the comments. Let me know things that have worked for you, how you overcame it, how you got on the road to success. But I'm telling you, everybody's story is different. And if you really want to get it where there's this consistency, what I've seen work the best is for people and patients to just start finding what works by massaging all these different little avenues into place. And try not to go the atomic warfare route, which is, I'm constipated, let me just take all these laxative herbs and vitamins and stuff to make my bowels move. And then go on with life. And then, oh, I'm constipated, I'm backed up, take all this stuff, go on with life. That's just going to create more of this, oh my goodness state. Rather, little doses, work yourself up, find where that happy medium is, no diarrhea, no loose stools. One bowel movement, maybe 2 a day. Find it. Keep massaging until it happens. All right, I'm Dr. Matt. Hope this is helpful. I'll see you guys and gals later.